Hello, welcome back to the second scooter race of today. It's got the super scooters out on grid now. So we've got Nikita on the 6A on pole. Struggling to see from here where we've got that. I can see Adi up there. And race this time after his DNF last time, but Adi and the scooter are both mended, both all good to go. Just a couple of late comers to the grid. Harry Smith and Jer Cruz struggling to get his machine. Oh no, it's Damon Yates, sorry. No, looks like he's going to make the start line. No, so they're off and away on the sighting lap. So you see as they come through, weather conditions have improved a lot since the last race. Very little standing water left now, so it looks like it could be Nikita and Tom Oliver on the front row. Along with Graham Tatton, I think it was. And then in the second row, I think it was Steve Wright and John the Greek. So looking forward to some more close racing that we usually get here at Lydden. Hopefully less incidents this time. John the Greek going through, Harry Smith, Ben Reddings, Bob West, George Fielder and Andy Walker. So yeah, it's Nikita, then Graham Tatton, then John the Greek, then Tom Oliver, Steve Wright and Keith Terry, I think it is. So
Steve Wright.
Sorry?
Steve Wright, is he free?
He'll be on the number 1 plate. Yeah, Graham Tatton's on the number 3. So they're on the lights and they're away. It's a good start from the second row there. It looked like Tom Oliver, but John the Greek's got into his paces now, so it looks like Nikita leading into the bomb hole as they just disappear behind the iron car. Yeah, Nikita's out in front. And then we've got Steve Wright and John the Greek shoulder to shoulder coming down to the Devil's Elbow, but John the Greek's got there in front. And then it's Tom Oliver, Graham Tatton, Keith Terry. And George Fielder. Great start from George as they come through. Nikita in first position on the 6A zip. Then we've got number three for Steve Wright. And then we've got John the Greek followed by Tom Oliver and Graham Tatton. Then Keith Terry, David Bristow, Stuart Day. And then George Fielder. George made a great start, the 15-year-old there. Further behind that looks like Ben Reddings, followed by Adi Horrocks, Gary Smith and possibly Shane. But Nikita already into the Devil's Elbow. Away on the 6A zip. And then first in Group 6 is .68, followed by Graham Tatton, number 4. Dave Bristow, Keith Terry, Stuart Day, and George Fielder's still keeping ahead of the rest. Absolutely flying as Adi Horrocks goes round the outside of teammate Ben Reddings round the hairpin, catching up onto the back of George Fielder now, tucked in. George on the wider line, sweeping in. Further back there we've got, looks like Graham Tatton might have an issue. He's a little bit slower than normal, followed then by Bob West, Jer Crew and Andy Walker, I think. Nikita already back through the Devil's Elbow, so this will be lap 3. John's not getting away from Steve Wright. Steve Wright, as long as he can see him and see places where he's catching, he'll be trying to make sure he doesn't get the break on him and battle to the end. John's front wheel coming up under the power, obviously. Then Tom Oliver, Graham Tatton has a look behind him. And Dave Bristow coming through on the 4E machine. Keith Terry, Stuart Day. Now Adi Horrocks has got past George Fielder, who's starting to make a break. Starting to work on his body position, tucked in that bit more now, breaking away. Harry Smith on the Group 5 small frame now, catching up on George Fielder. And it's Shane Hunsdale in front of his friend Gareth Smith. And it's John Holt, Jer Crew, Andy Walker. Retirement for Bob West. Nikita still extending the lead. John and Steve still as close as they were the last time. Not getting away from him. If anything, Steve's catching a little bit into the stuff, and then Graham Tatton goes through. Dave Bristow, closely followed by Keith Terry. A battle they've had many years ago, these two. Then Stuart Day on his Group 6 bike. So then next one. Then Harry Smith, George Fielder, not got lost by Harry. George will be tagging on to back of him, trying to get him. Then Gary Smith's going front of Shane now. And John Holt going through. And we've got Andy Walker. Nikita's already round the outside, lapping the tail markers. Flying down the hill as John and Steve now come round the hairpin. Steve a little bit closer, if anything. Closing in the gap as they come down the hill. He's looking for the inside line, but John just cuts front. And Graham Tatton coming through. Fourth and fifth in Group 6. Dave Bristow and Keith Terry on the 4E machines. Sixth place for Stuart Day. The seventh place, which was his grid position for Adi Horrocks in Group 6 on a production Vespa. Then we've got Harry Smith being hounded by George Fielder now. Harry seems to have an issue. He's having a good look at George as he goes by, but it's John and Steve Wright both come back through, lapping the tail end of the paddock. And there we go. So John made his way through the back markers a little bit. Oliver goes through into the last corner. And Dave Bristow still out in front of Keith Terry. Keith getting a better run out of there. Catching up a little bit. Very close between those two. So as we look back at Adi Horrocks coming through, still going well. Just need to get it to the checker flag this time, and it'll be what, 5th in Group 6 for him. As Nikita comes through now, closing in on George Fielder. So Gary Smith in front of Ben Reddins, seems to have lost Shane Hunsdale somewhere. And John Holt going through on the SRP machine. And Steve Wright's got through on John the Greek now. Now behind the Arnco, the leaders. Oh, Keith Terry just has a little squirrel on the rear end as he comes round the hairpin, trying to get up the inside of Dave. Adi Horrocks coming through now. He's built up quite a good gap. And Nikita comes through. First overall. Through every lap. So looking at John, got now past Steve Wright again. Some more back markers. John makes his way through. No hold ups there. The Steve Wright's closed right down on John. Got up the inside of him into the bomb hole. Round the hairpin. We've got Jer Crew followed by Keith Terry. He's now going front of Dave Bristow. Stuart Day. So we look back now. John is still in front of Steve Wright. So he's got round Druid and looks like he's managed to keep in front. So your race leader goes through. We look back. Steve goes up round the outside of John, but John will get him on the brakes through into the hairpin. Slightly wide. Again. Battle for first place in Group 6 is going to go down to the flag. Now, slightly more powerful Lambretta. And Stuart Day now takes up in front of Keith Terry. He's trying to pick the way through past Andy Walker. And your race leader Nikita coming through now already. Lapped most of the field at this rate. These conditions perfect for Nikita. She loves the damp tracks. They tend to make everybody else roll off that little bit, whereas Nikita seems to be able to stay at 100%. Steve comes out of the hairpin in front of John the Greek. John trying to catch up. Not getting. He's got a good drive through the last corner, but Steve might pull away a little bit now. Ben Redding's going through. It's like a retirement for Gary Smith at the hairpin. And Dave Bristow going up the inside of Keith Terry into the hairpin. Stuart Day on the Group 6 machine out of retirement. Got in front of them. But Dave's now away in front of Keith. And that was the checkered flag. So your leader for the entire race, Nikita Donahue, first in 6-8. Great finish from AD. And I think it's Steve Wright's managed to get the better of John the Greek on that one. Another one to settle that score later this afternoon. But good riding from everyone, a lot less incidents this time. Gary's got the lucky push down the hill. So thanks for tuning in again. We shall be back with 2 more races this afternoon, hopefully, time permitting and no further delays. So we'll have 1 more stock race, which will be next. And then we'll be having the final Supers race of the day and the end of the championship.
Finishing, telling you.